सो हेलो गाइस, वेलकम बैक माई ब्रान्ड न्यू भिडियो। आजको भिडियोमा चाहिँ हामी रियाक्ट गर्न जाँदैछौँ हिज स्टोरी आई फाउन्ड माई डेड ब्रदर लिभिङ इन माई बेसमेन्ट भन्ने एउटा भिडियो हिज स्टोरीबाट। सो टाइम वेस्ट नगरी हेरौँ भिडियो।
It was empty, and Sunday was empty, and I shook the whole organizer over the counter like an idiot, hoping one would materialize. Nothing came out. So for the weekend, backup was on the storage shelf cellar. Meant one place my leg couldn't take me. I tore through every cabinet in the kitchen with my heart climbing because I already knew they were empty. Bathroom, hall closet, parents' nightstand, every empty made the throbbing worse. My leg could sense I was running out of options. I called my mom. I ran out of meds. You miscounted. No. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I need the back cellar. No. Shifted to something faster and later. You can't make it down those stairs. You could fall. I need the medication, Mom. Take a hot bath. Use the heating pad. We'll be home by 3 tomorrow and I'll bring them right up. It's not. My leg is on fire. I know, honey. Please don't try the stairs. Promise me you won't try the stairs. I told her I promised. That was easy arguing. I didn't mean. The heating pad helped for 20 minutes, and then the throbbing came back worse, like it was punishing me for thinking it would work. I ran the bath and sat in it until the water went cold, and the pain climbed from my knee up through my hip, like something alive crawling through. Limped to the kitchen.
Like you kind of बिरामी हो, खुट्टा दुख्ने उतो नखाइदिन दबाई.
Wrapped around my freezing like I could hold the bone together. The medication was 30 feet below me. Door my mother begged me not to open. I pulled myself up, count, and limped down the hallway. The door was at the kitchen hallway. My mom always said the stairs were too for my leg. And stale air hit my face, smelling like concrete. My neck prickle, steep wooden stairs dropping into black. With my right hand and my phone flashlight with my left, and took the first step. Wood groaned. My bad leg dragged behind me, and the knee buckled on the third step, and I grabbed the railing with both hands. My phone slipped out of my grip and bounced off every step and landed at the bottom with the light pointing sideways into the dark.
ओए फोन कसरी नै यसरी क्लच भयो त क्लच बिच्चामा ल्यान्डन क्लच.
The same place it broke when I was 2. Tell it back upstairs and wait for railing and went down blind because the pain was louder than the fear. One step at a time. On the wood, bad knee grinding with every drop. Reached the last step and my bad leg gave out and caught myself on my hands and knees. I grabbed the phone and swept the light across the cellar, walls, and an old furnace and metal shelves.
तपाईँ भेट्यो तपाईँ फेरि फाइनली.
So hard, my eyes burned. I swallowed 2 pills and leaned against the shelf, my eyes closed. The throbbing to ease. Then the light drifted left and caught color on the wall behind the far shelf where I pushed myself up, moved closer, my breath stopped. Pencil drawings taped to the concrete, trees with full canopies and birds in flight, and a pond with geese lined up along the bank. Not 1 or 2. I swept the light further and found dozens more, hundreds. From the corner of Apple and 5th, someone had drawn our entire walls of our cellar. My aching because my brain couldn't make sense of it. The tape was fresh. The pencil lines were sharp. Drawing stopped cold. 2 figures standing in a yard. A tall one and a small one with a crooked leg. Underneath in careful letters it said, "Me." I traced my finger across the small figure's crooked leg. Whoever drew this knew about my leg. Hair on my arms and every muscle in my body told me to run, but my bad leg couldn't run, so I stood there in the dark with my heart slamming against my ribs. The light swept to the far wall and hit a door. A deadbolt on the outside slid shut. The deadbolt was on the outside, which meant whatever phone in my hand, and the beam jumped across the concrete. I should have gone upstairs and called the police. That's what a smart person would have done. I walked toward the door because I had to know. Cold metal under my fingers. I slid the bolt and the scrape echoed off every wall. The breathing stopped. I pushed the door open. Bed against the wall and a desk covered in books and a lamp shade. And sitting on the bed was a person.
Bro. के खाँदैछ होला?
Opened wide and then softened and then filled with tears. Eli. He knew my name. I had never seen this face in my life. He looked maybe 21 with sharp cheekbones and thin wrists. His eyes dropped to my left leg, and the way I was standing with every weight. His voice cracked. Did that to you. Stumbled backward and my shoulders hit concrete. Who are you? He told me his name was Caleb. He was my brother. The word hit like a physical thing, and I grabbed the door frame. The floor tilted and broke my leg. Our parents told everyone he died and put him in this cellar 11 years ago. My vision blurred and I realized I'd stopped breathing. He spoke without looking at me, with his eyes on the floor and his voice flat, like he'd rehearsed this speech 1,000 times in case this moment ever came. My bedroom. The thud I sometimes heard at night wasn't the furnace. It was him. But he told me he pushed me, and my parents, he pushed me, and he didn't remember doing it. A 7-year-old who couldn't remember the worst thing he ever did. Something. Kitchen table, pressed my hands flat on the wood to keep them from shaking. I kept thinking I'd throw up. A brother. I had a brother living under the. Came home the next afternoon. My mother hung up her coat. My father dropped his keys on the counter. He opened the refrigerator and pulled out a bottle of water and drank half of it standing there. Kitchen light and my stomach turned over. Two people who had lied to me for my entire life. I ate dinner from my father. My fork scraped his fork. I stared at his hands and thought about what kind of person buries their own son.
Next morning at breakfast at Road.
Mother's spoon stopped halfway in her mouth. What kind of dreams? Like someone pushing me and then falling, and my leg up. My father. He stood at the counter with his coffee, and his expression stayed completely flat. You had an accident when you were 2, my mother said. Rehearsed voice. Control it. He pushed you down the stairs, and your leg broke badly, and it never healed right. And then what happened to Caleb? She looked. Sweetheart. A few months after, he got sick. Her eyes darted, and she picked up her spoon and put it down and picked it up again. She was lying, and she knew I could tell, and the anger rose in my throat so fast I had to grip the edge of the table to keep from screaming across the kitchen that their dead son was breathing 10 feet below us. My father set his mug down. Where are these dreams coming from, Eli? I don't know. They just started. He repeated it back without blinking. He crossed the kitchen and stood behind my mother's chair. The mind does funny things. I wouldn't read into it. He put his hand on her shoulder, and she flinched. After breakfast, he went to the cellar door and stood in front of it for a long time. That afternoon, I heard drilling. He installed a padlock on the cellar door and tested it 3 times. Then he looked at me across the kitchen. My skin crawled because the expression on his face said he already knew. I found the key to the new padlock in the junk drawer that night. Same brass key ring my dad kept all his spare keys on. I snuck down every night looking for the truth. The stairs got easier once I learned which ones creaked and where to put my weight so my leg held. The story my parents told me had a hole in it, and I needed to find it. The first night, I asked Caleb to walk me through what happened at the top of the stairs. I remember standing there and hearing you crying. I remember Dad was up there with you. Then a crash. I ran down, and you were at the bottom, and your leg was wrong, and Dad was standing at the top looking down at us. He pressed his palms flat on the desk. I don't remember pushing you. I was 7. I just know I did because Dad told me every day for a week. You did this. You hurt your brother. You broke his leg. I believed him. I brought him a radio the next visit. Music filled the cellar, and he pressed his hand flat against the speaker and closed his eyes. His whole body leaned toward the sound, like a plant turning toward light. I brought gummy bears, and he held a green one up to the lamp and studied it like it was a diamond. They changed the flavor, like 8 years ago. That's devastating.
So आजको भिडियोको लागि यति मात्र. थ्याङ्क यू फर वाचिङ. गुड बाई.